In Britain, the Prime Minister Keir Starmer is continuing to face down the prospect of a leadership challenge. Pressure is building on Mr Starmer to step down, with 4 junior ministers resigning, joining over 87 MPs urging him to quit. Earlier, the Prime Minister defied calls for him to resign, telling his cabinet that the country expects him to get on with governing.
Resign, Mr Miliband!
Different party, same problem.
Will you ask for Keir Starmer to step down, Mr Miliband?
After 6 British Prime Ministers in a decade, Labour's Keir Starmer now risks making that number 7.
Is it over for Keir Starmer?
His cabinet tight-lipped as they arrived at Downing Street this morning, despite the best efforts of waiting journalists to get the views of those
Wes Streeting, are you measuring the curtains?
Expected to take a tilt at any vacancy. Keir Starmer, elected as British Prime Minister in a landslide victory less than 2 years ago, has been under pressure since taking office. Questions about political donations joined accusations of flip-flopping on major government policies, with his appointment of Peter Mandelson as US Ambassador raising questions about the Prime Minister's judgment when Mr Mandelson was forced to stand down over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. For many in his party, though, it was a drubbing in last week's local elections that was the final straw, with scores of MPs calling on the Prime Minister to consider his position, while his allies appealed for calm.
Look, there's obviously a challenging set of conversations within the Labour Party. I'm not suggesting otherwise, and it's right that we have those conversations given our performance at the ballot box last Thursday. But there's a difference between the Labour Party and government, and in government we're getting on with the work that people have elected us to do.
Cabinet ministers left number 10 after a meeting in which Keir Starmer told them he would be staying on.
Will you challenge Keir Starmer?
The questions about his future, though, are likely to stay too.
And we're joined now by our London correspondent, Sean Whelan at Westminster. And Sean, it has been quite the day. The Prime Minister is still standing, but it seems he's on very shaky ground.
He is, and it's become something of a tradition around here, hasn't it, Tommy? We're looking at 6 Prime Ministers down, maybe a 7th one within the space of 10 years. An extraordinary turnover of the inhabitants of number 10 Downing Street already, and if Mr Starmer is forced from office, then that will be even more extraordinary and will add to the sense of instability and difficult governance that is starting to characterise this country, sadly. Mr Starmer, as you say, is standing and fighting. He's challenging his opponents to put up or shut up, effectively. He's got a big set piece tomorrow in Parliament, the King's Speech, reopening the new session of Parliament, setting out an agenda of action that the government will take. Mr Starmer himself will have to stand at the dispatch box and face the Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Badenoch, tomorrow, and that will, I'm sure, be an interesting spectacle. And then in a week's time, the MPs are going to have to vote on this government programme, and at that stage we'll see exactly how much support the government has or doesn't have, and whether the prospect of an early election concentrates the minds of the backbenchers. In the past few minutes, we've had the Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy, come out to reporters in Downing Street and effectively call out challengers, saying, look, we've had several days now of speculation and talk about a leadership challenge. It's time to do it. If you've got somebody in mind, put them up. If you yourself want to be a challenger, stand up, be counted, put yourself forward. Let's get on with it. He pledged his own loyalty to the Prime Minister, said he's got this huge mandate from the people of Britain. They've put him into power for effectively 5 years, and he wants to just get on with the process of government. But we've seen this constant drip of backbenchers coming out saying they're not happy. That number has gone past 87. There's been a counter move by the Prime Minister's supporters. 100 of them have signed a letter saying we support Keir Starmer for staying on. 4 junior ministers have quit, but nobody yet from the cabinet. Tommy?
Sean Whelan in London, thank you.
Now, staying with events in Westminster, let's speak to Peter Cardwell, Talk TV presenter and former Cabinet Special Advisor. Peter, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Keir Starmer has told his Cabinet he wants to get on with governing. Does he still have the support of Cabinet despite the fact that he's lost 4 ministers?
I don't think he does have the support of Cabinet. They may not be on the record saying that he should go, but that is certainly how many of them feel. And Wes Streeting, who is the Cabinet contender most likely to challenge him, well, he couldn't even get a conversation with the Prime Minister today. There are a lot of Labour backbenchers who want to talk to the Prime Minister. They have many questions for him. He said he didn't have time to meet them today. He's been out and about doing what he would say is the business of governing. But this is a real crisis for Keir Starmer. He's not even 2 years into his role, and we could, in theory, have 4 Prime Ministers in 4 years here in the UK.
There is a bit of a standoff, though, at the moment, because we've 87, I think it is at the moment, MP backbenchers calling for him to go. Then there's over 100 who are saying, no, stay the course, you have a strong mandate here. There's another 200 we haven't heard from. How important are they going to be in the coming hours and days?
Extremely important. I mean, when you have about a quarter of your parliamentary party that's saying go, or at least have a timetable to go, those who haven't declared are the ones journalists like me are ringing up all the time to find out where they stand, and quite a few are quite reticent to say anything at all because they're waiting to see which way the wind is blowing in all of this. Certainly there's no clear challenger yet, but there are many indications that that might happen before too long, and really it's a sort of holding pattern for Keir Starmer. He's trying to continue as if not a huge amount is happening. It wasn't even discussed at Cabinet today, for example, in Downing Street, but it is the one question on everyone's lips here in Westminster: when, or possibly if, but I think it's when.
But yet, at the moment, there is no one clear potential candidate, someone who's going to push and go for it. Now, you mentioned Wes Streeting. Is he likely to push and go for it? Is there any inkling of it?
I think he's waiting to see what happens. Certainly some of the more junior ministers who have gone over the top on this, well, they are loyalists to Wes Streeting. People like Jess Phillips, for example, the safeguarding minister, she has resigned, Home Office minister. So there are quite a number of people who are loyal to Wes Streeting. Whether he goes or not, and whether you have Cabinet resignations, 1 or 2 at the mid to high level, well, that's really when it's terminal for Keir Starmer. Andy Burnham is in London today. He's the Mayor of Greater Manchester, not a Member of Parliament, and how he gets back to Parliament is a big question in all of this, or whether that actually happens or not. He was blocked the last time from loyalists to Keir Starmer. So there's no clear challenger just yet, but I think it's probably a matter of time, Sharon.
Yeah, so much talk about Andy Burnham, but as you say, he's not an MP. He needs to be if he wants to challenge for the leadership. Any sign of anybody offering their seat to him?
Well, there are quite a number of MPs saying, wouldn't it be great if someone just stood down? But when they're asked themselves, they, of course, don't want to do that. There's also the changing political climate. There isn't such a thing as a safe seat in the northwest. You look at places, I should say, like Wigan, for example, where Labour did really, really badly. They only have 1 councillor now after those disastrous elections for them last Thursday. So where that is, and of course, the public don't like being told, this is democracy, yes, but you'll do what we say. So if you have the Mayor of Greater Manchester standing down and standing to be an MP, there's no guarantee that Labour keeps both those seats. A lot of what ifs in this, and as always, politics is all about timing, as both Andy Burnham and Keir Starmer, and indeed Wes Streeting and others, will be thinking about this evening.
And you mentioned the electorate there, and David Lammy came out today to say that Keir Starmer does have a mandate. Let him finish it, or otherwise it will be 7 Prime Ministers in 10 years.
Yes, and David Lammy has a point in that. Of course, 411 MPs were elected in July 2024, and it's almost unbelievable that Keir Starmer hasn't even got 2 years as Prime Minister with such a huge mandate. It shows how very, very quickly things can change. But what I would say is Boris Johnson at this time, in his time as Prime Minister about 2 years in, was talking about a 5th term for the Conservatives, a 3rd term for him. So things can change very, very quickly. And also support drains away from individuals. The system we have, similar to the system in Ireland, it's not about an individual, it's about a party, and who that party leader is a matter for its members, not a matter for the UK electorate.
All right, Peter Cardwell, Talk TV presenter, thanks so much for joining us on 6-1 this evening.
Thank you.